Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics. I am Dennis.
What's up, guys? Teresa here. Finally getting back in the swing of things. It's been 2 weeks in a row I've been here.
Yeah, I think that's a record for this year.
That's a big deal, for sure.
Yeah, we're only the second week of the year.
Sure.
You want to talk to him for a minute while I just finish sharing this?
Sure, I don't know what to talk about. What should I say?
What did
My
you do
internet
last week?
isn't working, so that's why I can't share anything. And Dennis is doing all the sharing. What did I do last week? I was sick, so I didn't do anything. It was like karma, because I was talking about how I wasn't sick when everybody else was sick, and then I got sick. So
That'll do it.
that was super fun, super not fun at all. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow.
I got mine cut today. I did it myself.
I can tell. It looks lovely.
Thank you. You guys can help us out too if you want to like us and share us. It would definitely help us out and share our
share
page.
for me, because I can't log on to my Facebook.
Well, I shared it on yours, so hopefully they'll see it from that. And go to our Facebook page, Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics, and like that and share that as well. I think that covers the sharing part.
I think so.
So, yeah, a lot of people have been getting sick lately. Seems to be a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like an epidemic.
And the flu and the stomach virus have been the top two things.
Yeah.
So that's not
It was
fun.
actually really weird. I was working Wednesday, and I was in a great mood. I felt fine. I had a lot of my friends there. And then all of a sudden I felt sick, and I felt like I was going to pass out. And I went to my boss. I was like, I gotta go home. So, which is embarrassing to happen at work. When,
Yeah.
You know, I was like, what's going on?
Especially in a bar.
Yeah, because I'm surrounded by people, and it just looks really unprofessional. It's like at least people know that I don't drink the way I used to, because otherwise it would be very confusing to some.
Yes.
But
That's what I was thinking. Like, look at the drunk bartender.
no, I was very clearly not drunk and not happy. But that's something about my face. I have bitch face, so like people assume I'm always miserable all the
You
time.
have the infamous resting bitch face.
Yeah, really bad. It's a curse. It's a curse.
See, I think that'd be a good thing.
It's not. It's not, because and not in my line of work. Not as a bartender.
Well, that's true. You
Because
gotta
everybody
be
comes up to
somewhat
me and is
personable.
like, smile.
Can I
What's
have the
wrong with
friendly
you?
bartender?
Why don't you have a different job? And it's so fucking annoying.
Well, it's funny because actually I pulled some stuff today, and one of it is bartenders reveal 24 things you should never ever do at bars. So I wonder if they'll cover that.
I think it's just don't tell anybody to smile. It's annoying.
Okay.
I was bartending a catered party, and I was swamped, and I was working with this chick that I disliked immensely, and she was no help at all. Like, she was supposed to help clean. She wasn't supposed to help bartend, but she was supposed to help clean my station and bring me clean glasses and whatever, and she was useless, and I was like overwhelmed. And this guy's like, smile, and I like just gritted my teeth. Yeah, that was fun.
Gotta draw one on like the Joker.
I should.
No, you
I
always
should.
have it. But before we get started, I want to thank Cyclone. He's always been a big
Yes.
promoter of us. Cyclone has his show on before us called In the Cage with Cyclone. And he talks about all different types of fighting sports. MMA, wrestling, boxing, hockey, you name it. He talks about it. There's fighting in it, I'll discuss it. And it's a really cool show.
It is a really cool show.
I
I
keep
don't
moving
really
and letting that go.
we've covered before. I don't know a lot about many sports because I just could care less, and I still am intrigued by his show.
Oh, you like fighting?
I do like fighting. But I don't know. I mean, that's why I like hockey, because I like fighting.
Right. We'll see. I know a couple of fighters. Maybe eventually we'll get them on too.
That would be cool. Open
You
my
get to see
my mind a little bit more about
Yeah.
the sport of it.
see firsthand what they're
Yeah.
all about.
Absolutely.
So I see Frank is tuned in. What's up, Frank? And while
Hey,
he's
Frank.
on, let's give him a little plug.
Yeah.
Frank Zambuto from Kayla
My
Logistics.
hair, guys. What is this?
Kayla Logistics, where your business is our priority. Moving products you use every day across the country and around the world. Contact Frank Zambuto for all of your domestic and international logistic projects. Frank has over 20 years experience working with many name brand companies in the apparel, cosmetics as seen on TV, and electronic industries. For trucking, air, and ocean cargo on all 7 continents, all you need is one solution. To all Cool Cat listeners, just mention our show, and Frank will offer a free cost and transit time analysis for all your cargo. When cost and time matter, we deliver. Frank Zambuto and K Logistics, where your business is our priority. And how can you get in touch with him?
You can get him through his direct number, which is 347-536-3933.
And his email?
You want to go with the email?
Sure, frank@kalologistics.com. So, Otis, call him. You keep telling me you're going to call him, call him. Frank can answer all your questions. Things are a lot confusing. I can't even speak English. Things are very confusing right now with tariffs and all sorts of stuff with everything going on in the world, but it's not confusing to Frank because that's what he does.
And he is a very helpful gentleman. So.
Yes. And we got our #1 fan, Missy J, on. We have our behind-the-scenes person, V, watching. And V tries to make someone do something to make the person smile.
See, I agree with that.
Telling them to smile.
I agree with that because
And
I'll
Frank
laugh.
should smile.
God damn it. I'll laugh, or I think that I'm a cheery person at work once I'm talking to you. That's another thing too. If you're like a creep that's like hitting on me in a really creepy manner, I'm not going to smile when you talk to me. I'm not going to smile when I'm serving you. I want to be away from you.
Yeah.
So there's that as well.
I think intent has a lot to do with
Intent
it.
has
Some
a
people
lot
just want
to
people
do
to be
with
happy.
it.
And,
Well, there are some people that will be like, "Oh, come on, smile," and like if I know them, if I can kind of feel their energy, I'll be like, "Oh, it's just my face." I say that a lot. It's just my face.
And Missy says you're always beautiful.
Oh, Missy, I love you. Loved your stuff, by the way. Your chapstick was amazing.
We got to work it out where we can get her on here and
Yeah.
go over what she's
that would
doing. I
be
know she's not
awesome.
quite there yet, but
And I might need some more of that chapstick.
Right.
I have 3, but
I got to grow this back so I can start treating it again with the stuff.
yeah.
I just I couldn't take it anymore. I had to trim it down. But anyway, we have some interesting guests coming up over the next couple of weeks.
We
and
do.
some good topics.
We do.
But today we figure, because it didn't work out the way we wanted today, we figured we just do some things, let people get to know us a
chat.
little bit, have some discussions on just different topics.
I think it's a good way too to explain, what the next couple weeks are going to be like and the direction we want to go in and the things we're going to talk about. And
Before I forget, because I forgot to say it last week, the Acme Oyster House. Because we forgot to discuss that. That was the only place we went to twice. Because we heard about the Chargrove
So
oysters.
good.
So the three of
We're
us
talking about
split.
New Orleans if you guys
Yes.
missed last week.
That's what last week's show was all about, our infamous trip there. So we got a plate to share as an appetizer, and we all got our own meal. Then we realized that was a mistake. We all should have got our own plate of oysters and no meal. So we went back the next night, and I found out how lucky we were, because usually there's a very long line to get in.
Yeah, the person that told us about it was explaining how there's a long wait and a long line, like a line wrapped around the block, not the building, like the block. And they weren't kidding. The first night it was a pretty long line, but it went really quick.
Yes.
And then the second night we got in immediately,
Yeah,
pretty
real
much.
quick, right in.
And it was amazing. Amazing. I
Yes, definitely.
still think about those oysters all the time.
And we've tried them here. I know V and I have tried a few different places. I think you have as well, and they're just not.
It's
Even
not
though
the
they say
same.
it's from the Acme oyster, no, it's not. It
It's
might be.
not-
I don't want to say
yeah,
it's not
maybe
from
it
there.
is,
Maybe
but
it is, but it's not the same.
It's
Definitely
not the same. It's not the same. But I mean,
Yes, I do
nothing's
have a comb.
ever going to be the same. Like in that moment, in that experience at that
Yeah.
place.
But you know what? Like you could go to the Bayou of Big Daddy's, Top Hat and Belmore, which we tried, which was very
How
good.
was it?
It was very good.
How
we
was
have
it?
to try it.
I would love to.
You have to come with us to say, because we did try it. But you can get good Cajun food around here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But the oysters, I don't know. There was something special about those.
Yeah, they were amazing.
I can't explain it, but
like
if
I
you've
said,
had
I
it, you
still
understand.
think about them. So good.
Missy's gonna make me oil.
So where are we going? What are we doing?
Yes, I was just trying to keep up and see what they were talking about, because they're talking about.
I'll have to
getting a
find
comb
my
and whatever.
iPad, but I'm pretty sure it's just destroyed from
Yeah,
a
I'm trying
toddler.
to see. I refuse to eat glasses.
I don't wear mine, so.
All right, so we're gonna start. I figure we'll pick. I pick topics based off what we do. So the first one is going to involve law. And this is 25 of the world's most ludicrous laws.
Ludicrous, good word.
Yes. And actually, this is not in order at all. I hope you're all here.
Well, is it in order in general, or is it just listing it?
I might be missing a page, or it might have fell out, or whatever. But we'll just go through some.
Over here, we're
It's all
real
right.
organized.
Oh, no, it's just out of order. Oh, I see. It's a countdown. The page is missing there. So anyway, it says some wacky rules includes a Florida law that says an unmarried woman can be jailed for parachuting on Sundays, or London law that forbids taxis from carrying rabid dogs or corpses, which is interesting. But this was from like 10 years ago, where they had a Times list of the world's most ridiculous laws. So 25.
So this was from 10 years ago, so is there an update on that?
It says the last updated January 14, 2015, but you know, a lot of these laws were made a long time ago and they're just still on the books.
Right.
So I'm sure not much has changed over the time. But it is illegal for a cab in the city of London to carry rabid dogs or corpses, which I just read. I don't know why it's on both pages, but it is. So I guess that's a big problem in London, that rabid dogs try to hail the cabs with dead bodies with them.
You know what? I want to know what prompted that law.
That's what I always love about these, and I'm sorry I'm making a lot of noise, I just fixed that. But something had to happen for these laws, and I would love
Right.
to hear the back. I wish they would include the backstory on these. But it's also illegal to die in the Britain Houses of Parliament.
Because you choose to die.
And what is the punishment for that? Obviously, you can't get a cab if you're in London. These are interesting. It is an act of treason to place a postage stamp bearing the British monarch upside down. Which I can understand, especially back in the olden days, the archaic laws, if you insulted the leader
Oh, yeah, I mean,
of any place, they'd knock you out. They'd take you out, I should say. And there it goes with the next law. In France, it is forbidden to call a pig Napoleon. Yes, I'm sure Napoleon probably wasn't too popular, and they made pigs after him. Okay, this one's interesting, so try to follow this. Under the UK's Tax Avoidance Schemes Regulation of 2006, so this isn't even archaic, it is illegal not to tell the taxman anything you don't want him to know, though you don't have to tell him anything you don't mind him knowing. And I did read that correctly. So if you don't want to tell him, you have to tell him. If you want to tell him, you don't have to tell him. That's basically what this says.
that's a bit conflicting.
Must be fun at tax time over there. We'll get to those later. I see people are writing some in. In Alabama, it is illegal for the driver to be blindfolded while driving a vehicle. Well, I guess there'll be no Bird Box filming in
Bird
Alabama.
Box. Which is a good movie, by the way.
Yes. You know what it is? We'll just pause a little bit, because I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people are talking about Bird Box, and it seems to be a love it or hate it thing. And I will say this, it's not as great as everyone says it is that love it, and it's not as bad as everyone that says it is that
You have
hates
to
it.
take it for what it is. I mean, any hyped up movie or any hyped up show is probably going to let you down.
Yes.
So if you just like, I watched it when my daughter was really sick and I was already really sad, so I was like, screw it. So I watched it, didn't listen to anybody's opinions on it because
Right.
I wasn't on Facebook, and I liked it. It was a good movie. Was it scary? No. Was it terrifying? Absolutely not. But it had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it all kind of came full circle.
I think the end was a little bit
Full circle.
anticlimactic.
I don't think that it was anticlimactic. I think it just wasn't super exciting. Like, for me, in the mood that I was in, I don't want to have too many spoilers, but for the mood that I was in, I needed that ending. You
Yeah,
know?
I just would have liked like an end game. You know what I mean? And
You
again,
mean-
it's hard to explain without ruining it.
Totally ruining
So
it.
we could discuss
Well,
that
I mean,
later. when
I
I'm
feel
trying-
like plenty of people have probably seen it.
Yeah.
Right?
If you didn't see it, hold your ears. Just like what happens then? You
But you have
it's
to
set
use
up
your
for a sequel,
imagination.
but it's just like.
Is there going to be a sequel? Wasn't it a book?
I don't know. But it just seems like they're hiding out in a new place.
Yeah.
So it's
But
no
it's like a bigger,
solution.
it's like a bigger place. It's a bit, you know, it's just supposed to be a little bit of refuge after everything.
I
Is
think
it
it's
me?
you.
Oh no, sorry guys.
I was like, I'm not moving, and it's making noise.
Is it better?
Yes.
All right. So I think it's just a little bit of refuge after everything that they went through.
Yeah. I kind of found it to be a mix between The Happening and A Quiet Place.
I think it was a mix of everything. I felt like, it reminded me of the early seasons of The Walking Dead. Like constantly looking for that new,
Right.
place to rest at. I don't know. It wasn't a bad movie.
No.
I think that the challenges are dumb. And I think that anybody that does a Bird Box challenge is dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm at the point now where I've actually been for a while. Take the warning labels off. Let the people who eat Tide Pods and do Bird Box challenges just go away.
No. Yeah, but then everybody's going to get sued. Because then you're going to get that one smartass that is aware of what he's doing.
Yeah, 'cause they'll sue the city of London for not being able to get a kid. We'll come back to
Right.
that again.
Right.
I don't know. It's just people are crazy. But anyway, let's
Missy,
get back
you
to fun
missed
stuff. Yeah, the Tide Pod challenge. Eat Tide Pods, they're good for you. I don't know where that comes from.
They look like candy.
Yeah. In Alabama, it is illegal for a driver to be blindfolded while driving a vehicle. We did that one already. That started the whole conversation. In Ohio, it is against state law to get a fish drunk.
Shucks.
Royal Navy ships that enter the port of London must provide a barrel of rum to the constable of the Tower of London. So if I ever move to London, I know what job I'm going for.
Is it still a barrel?
I'll take a bottle.
Don't you
I'm
think
not-
it
I'm
would
not
be
that picky.
updated by now?
Probably. And again, I'm sure that's old stuff. I'm sure they don't do that anymore. Although they might.
Well, I know that there's a lot of like we were saying earlier, a lot of old laws that aren't even acknowledged really.
Yeah. And that's what it is. In order for, well, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in this country, in order for a law to be taken off the books, it has to be challenged in court, which means somebody would have to be arrested for one of those ridiculous charges and then fight it for it to be removed, which they're obviously not in some of these, so it might be the same over there.
I didn't know that.
That's why there's so many stupid laws still on the book, a lot of them referring to horses and whatever. Well, we'll do that one week too. I'll print the state-by-state ones.
Oh God.
In the UK, a pregnant woman can legally relieve herself anywhere she wants, even if she so requests in a policeman's helmet.
Lucky woman.
Wouldn't want to be a cop over there.
When we were in the city when I was pregnant going to see Richie Byrne, I was miserable. No one would let me pee.
No cop
Remember?
would give you the helmet to pee in?
Well, that's the UK.
Yes. Yeah, I could understand that because when you got to go, and then you get someone pushing from the inside as well.
You have to pee
Sure.
every 10 minutes
Yeah.
when you're pregnant. And New York City, you have to buy something
Yeah.
to use a restroom. That was a nightmare for a pregnant woman that doesn't like the city to begin with.
In Lancashire, no person is permitted after being asked to stop by a constable on the seashore to incite a dog to bark.
What?
Very specific. So in other words, if a constable tells you, if you're on the seashore, the constable tells you to stop inciting the dog to bark, you can't do it anymore. Interesting. In Miami, Florida, it is illegal to skateboard in a police station.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know why it would be legal, or why you would think you'd do that in the first place, but. In Indonesia, the penalty for masturbation is decapitation. I will never visit Indonesia.
That seems kind of extreme.
Yes. I wonder if that's a church law, like from that era. This seems really extreme.
I'm gonna assume.
Decapitation for masturbation. I don't think there'd be anybody left in this country.
Is there a fact check on any of these?
Usually a lot of these are, but again, it's Indonesia, so it's possible. You might have to look into some of these. In England, all men over the age of 14 must carry out 2 hours of longbow practice a day.
Isn't there a cider called longbow?
Yes, I believe so. In London, freemen are allowed to take a flock of sheep across London Bridge without being charged a toll. They are also allowed to drive geese down Cheapside. Okay. San Salvador, drunk drivers can be punished by death before a firing squad. Yeah,
I know
one
drunk
way to thin the
drivers
herd
there.
there. In the UK, a man who feels compelled to urinate in public can do so only if he aims for his rear wheel and keeps his right hand on his vehicle.
What's up with the UK and peeing wherever you want?
I guess R. Kelly made some of the laws there.
Oh, God.
In Florida, unmarried women who parachute on Sundays can be jailed, which said in the, as others, I don't know why they're on this list then. In Kentucky, it is illegal to carry a concealed weapon more than 6 feet long. If it's more than 6 feet long, I go out on a limb and say it's probably not concealed. How are you going to conceal the 6-foot weapon?
Probably going to agree with you.
Unless you're putting a jacket over it and walking it. How do
I'm
you-
sure someone's done it, otherwise why would it be a law?
That's true. Wheeling a cannon down the street with a blanket over it. In Chester, England, Welshmen are banned from entering the city before sunrise and from staying at the sunset. In the city of York, it is legal to murder a Scotsman within the ancient city walls, but only if he's carrying a bow and arrow. These are definitely interesting. Boulder, Colorado, it is illegal to kill a bird within the city limits and also to own a pet. The town's citizens, legally speaking, are merely pet minders.
What?
So if you're in Colorado, you don't own a pet, you're minding the pet. Because you can't own an animal.
So, okay.
In Vermont, women must obtain written permission from their husbands to wear false teeth. I guess that was a big problem back in the day.
That seems more like a control thing.
I think Paul said something about this. In London, it is illegal to flag down a taxi if you have the plague.
Well, that sucks. How are you going to get to the hospital?
If you had the plague, I don't know if you could leave your house.
Well, I mean...
You're just
yeah,
going to give it to everybody then.
I mean,
Well, that probably was after the Black Plague started and everybody was getting killed because it was spreading it around. They probably just like stay home or drive yourself.
you can't... If you have the plague, or, do they even have taxis then?
I don't know. Maybe it was a horse and buggy with the.
Would that
taxi.
be a taxi,
I
though?
guess.
Weren't they all, like, quarantined?
Yeah. I guess that's what they're saying. You can't leave your house. You got to call for a house call because they did that back then.
They did. Didn't they do house calls for a while, up until, like...
Yeah, I don't know when that stopped exactly. I don't know if anybody knows. I know, right, Missy? In Bahrain, a male doctor may legally examine a woman's genitals, but is forbidden from looking directly at them during the examination. He may only see their reflection in a mirror. You follow that one? Mm-hmm. I'll say it again. A doctor can examine a woman's genitals, but can't look directly at them, so he's got to hold the mirror and kind of work on it.
Move around.
Yeah. This is another good one. The head of any dead whale found on the British coast is legally the property of the king. The tail, on the other hand, belongs to the queen in case she needs the bone for her corset. And again, I would love to know the story behind that. So there are some interesting laws. Let's see, I know people have sent some in. Yeah, V said, in reference to the masturbation one, cutting off the hands maybe instead of the head.
That I've heard. I think Game of Thrones taught me that.
Frank said at Penn State they have no sororities because more than several girls living in one house together is considered the house of prostitution in Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
And, you know, this probably true. I know Paul said something before. I can't find his comment, though, because he said something about the plague, but that might have been it. That is true. He's saying that it's definitely old because there's no current king of England.
I'm sure they're all archaic, like you were
Yes.
saying.
Well, one of them was 2006, which kind of surprised me.
I'm just jealous about the one in the UK that...
The tax avoidance
Pregnant
thing
women
was
can pee wherever
2006.
they want.
The really confusing one.
Yeah, that was pretty confusing.
So if you don't want them to know, you have to tell them. If you
Let's get
don't
to the
want it to know,
bartender
it's-
stuff.
So now what I'm going to do is this is a this might be a little more fun because we have a bartender here. So this is what bartenders say you should never ever do at bars. Now let's get your opinion on it.
These
and see if
are
I agree or
usually
disagree.
pretty spot on. There's a couple of things out there
Yeah.
that are like parodies and videos and stuff that
Right.
are really spot on.
I'm sure you'll agree with this one. Don't plead for drinks after closing time.
Ugh, yes, that one is very annoying.
Golden showers for everybody. Yes, if last call is called, that means last call.
Get the fuck out.
Get it in then, down it quick, and yeah, get the fuck out. This actually bothers me. Don't take fruit from the fruit trees meant for drinks.
I hate that.
First of all, you're not the bartender. You shouldn't be reaching over and grabbing that anyway.
The worst is when I am right in front of you. This is the fruit tray. This is your drink. I'm right in front of you. Just say, can I please have a lemon?
Yeah.
Can I please have a lime? Instead of doing this thing. So rude.
I'll see people just reach in, grab a cherry or an olive. And just
Oh
start
yeah,
eating
the
them.
cherries were the worst.
Yeah.
It's just rude.
I know you're feeling on this one already. Don't rip up coasters or labels and leave the scraps all over the floor or bar.
I will always call you out and ask if you're sexually frustrated if you do that in front of me. And if you stick the sticky pieces to the bar so it's a bitch to get off later, I will find you. And I will yell at you and spray Windex at you. I've done it.
She will. This is just rude. Don't throw your money or ID on the bar when the bartender has his or her hand out for it.
That actually doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, but it's just rude in general. If like, no matter where you are.
I agree.
If someone's reaching a hand out and you're just like,
But you know, when you're working in a fast-paced place, like there's a lot of time where someone will have their hand out for their change, and I'm already getting started on someone else's drink, so I'll just put their money on the bar. So that one doesn't bother me that much unless it's something like real nasty, like super deliberate throwing it at me.
I think that's what they mean by it. But Larry used to do that with the beer labels.
Oh,
He
Larry.
said it's probably because he was sexually frustrated, so.
All right, well, that
fair
would
enough.
make some sense then.
Don't tell a bartender to make you something strong, cheap, and taste good.
We will judge you immediately. The second you say that, I'm like, all right, well, you're not going to tip me. You're going to be a pain in the ass, and you're probably going to end up getting kicked out.
Don't ask for free drinks.
That's a given. You don't go to the grocery store and ask for free eggs, or are you going to go to a bar and ask for free drinks?
All right, it says do specify your drink of choice before anything else. So in other words, if you want like Kettle One martini up with a twist, say that first. Don't say give me a vodka martini. No. Put Kettle One in there. I think that's what they're trying to get at with that.
But there's also girls do this a lot. Surprise me. I hate that.
You jumping ahead.
I'm not jumping ahead. I don't know what you're reading.
I know that's definitely in here. I know that one's definitely in here, but.
But that's annoying. Like, or you know, when you start making somebody's drink, like you just said, and then like you're in the middle of it, and like, oh, I wanted Tito's.
Yeah.
It's like you should have said I wanted a Tito's Club instead of a vodka club, because the average bar will always give you rack vodka
Of course,
if you
that's
just
the go-to.
say
Yeah.
vodka club.
Tip. Do tip.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know why I have to tell people, but apparently, well, in New York you shouldn't have to tell people. I know some other states things are different. People don't tip or they don't tip as much.
Tips
But
stands
you're
for
around here.
to ensure proper service.
Right.
If you want proper service, you have to show gratitude. It's just how it is.
Don't cut in line.
I don't have an opinion on that.
I kind of get it though, because especially if you're busy, you get a lot of people waiting, and there's people waiting for a drink, and then someone just goes, "Yo, give me," jumps in front of everybody. It's just going to cause a problem.
I just ignore them,
yeah.
usually.
Don't ask insulting questions, and they give some examples. Can you mix a good drink? Can you make wine stronger? Or do you even know how to make insert drink order here?
So I get that one a lot because I look a lot younger than I am, and it's very annoying. When I first started working at the old bar I used to work at, before I started working at Dugan's, someone asked me for a Cosmo, and they're like, do you even know how to make that? And they like had to sip it all, like inspect it, and sipped it all like snooty, and I'm like, oh, it's good.
I kind of.
Yes, it's good. I've done this before.
I kind of get that one, but again, with intent. Because some people drink weird drinks. You know, if I.
A Cosmo's not a weird drink.
No, that's not a weird drink. But, you know, like, let's say an older person went in to Dugan's and said, give me a Harvey Wallbanger.
That would be a weird
That's a
request
weird drink.
at this point.
So, but again, it's intent. Hey, do you know how to make a Harvey Wallbanger?
That's different, though. A lot of.
Okay, can I have one? But do you even know how to make a Harvey Wallbanger?
The
If
average
you don't think they do, then
person
don't order it.
that knows a weird drink is usually pretty chill about it. They'll usually be like, can I have an old fashioned? You know, and you know, I happen to know how to make an old fashioned, but a lot of the younger bartenders don't. There's a lot of old drinks out there that are still in circulation that a lot of the young bartenders are like, what the hell is that?
Right. I bartended, and I was at a wedding one time, and someone asked me for a Cuba Libre, which, if you don't know what it is, all it is a rum and Coke with a lime.
With a lime.
I knew that, so I made it for them, and they took the drink like, is that what that is? I never knew. So they didn't even know what it was.
That happens a lot too, though, and something I learned.
I could have made them anything, and they were like, oh.
I actually went to bartending school. That's how I even started bartending. Is my friend didn't want to bartend alone. Didn't want to go to school alone. She asked for me to come with her. She ended up like joining the army, and I became a career bartender. And the first thing they taught us was that if it tastes good, no one will complain.
Yeah.
Like the girly drinks or the crazy drinks, if it has a silly name and a million ingredients, as long as it tastes good, people usually don't care. If it's something they drink all the time, and if it's something on the rocks or something that's 2 ingredients, they'll know if you fuck it up. But if it's several ingredients with a silly name, they just want it to taste good.
Can you make these? A white lightsaber or a green tea?
I can make a green tea. I have no idea what a white lifesaver is.
So again, if Missy went to the bar and said, hey, do you know how to make a white lifesaver?
Well,
I don't
you know
think that's
what's
a bad
amazing?
question. But it's like, do you even know how to make it?
These
That's
things.
insulting.
Because a lot of the time, if a bartender, like, Dugan's bar is square. So in a situation where if you don't know how to make a drink, you can be like, excuse me, maybe the liquor's on the other side, walk around, ask the other bartender, or pull your phone out and look up the ingredients really quick. And you're also not embarrassing yourself by doing it in front of the customer.
Right.
And it usually takes 2 seconds to do. Or, depending on how you feel with that customer, you can be like, do you know what's in it? And then...
I've been trying to think for a while. There was a shot. I might cover this a little bit later too, but this bar used to make the Italian Ice shot.
Oh my God!
Italian Ice, and I used to do it all the time there. And when I would go to other bars, I'm like, "Oh, can you make me Italian Ice? Like, what's in it?" And their bartender rules: if you don't know what's in it, you're not allowed to have it.
Really? That's weird.
That's how people acted then. So it's like, "Oh, what's in it? I don't know." Well, then you can't have it. You got to find out what's in it. So I'm like, "Oh, all right." So when the next time I went, I asked them. But now, if I went and asked that bartender, "Do you know how to make an Italian Ice?" Then I'm a dick too. You know, you got to have some leeway and stuff.
There's something too, like there'll be the same ingredients will have 50 different names,
yes.
And depending on where you go, where you're from, or what bar you're going to, it's going to have a different name.
And actually, a very popular shot at the time, a Kamikaze, which is commonly known as vodka lime and triple sec, is not the original recipe.
Really?
And a lot of people don't know that. I don't remember the original recipe because I've never made it because nobody knows that. But yeah, there was an original recipe, and then for some reason it got taken over. But there's a couple of drinks like that where there's more than one way to make it.
What was the original recipe?
I have to look it up. I really don't remember.
Huh.
But that's why when someone used to try to be
a lot of those
look down at me, like, do you have this, do you have that? And they'd ask me for Kamikaze. I'm like, traditional or common? And they're like, huh? Because at the time I knew it was in the traditional.
All right, what's the next one?
Don't snap your fingers.
Don't snap your fingers. Don't whistle. Don't clap. Don't. If you do that to me, I'm not serving you for the rest of the night.
Most bartenders I know.
Once you start clicking your empty beer bottle, I'm not going to serve you. Yeah.
And it's funny.
That is the rudest thing.
You know how many dirty looks I've gotten? Because I've done it by accident. Like, I'll go and put the beer on as I'm talking to someone, I'm like, didn't do it on purpose.
I think it's like you were saying, intent. Like if someone's looking at you, banging the empty bottle, which makes a very distinct sound on the bar, I'm ignoring your ass. That's rude. Yeah. No, that's rude, and that's looking for a fight.
Oof. Ready for this one again, Larry?
Larry.
He knows it was douchey, but he had an app on the phone that would blink to get the bartender's attention, and it would also show what drink I wanted. And then he writes, I was such an asshole. So
There's an app for that?
apparently, yeah. Don't keep yelling out the bartender's name if you happen to know it.
That, I was actually going to say that. That is a huge thing that I hate. I hate, because it's the people that scream your name are the people that don't know you that well. Someone just happened to say it, and then they start screaming it, asking for, the worst thing is when a customer you don't know knows your name, and they start screaming it, and then it becomes a domino effect.
Yeah.
Then, along with that, if somebody is an asshole, and they're like, oh, but I know Teresa, she's my best friend, and they don't know me, they only know me because of I'm the bartender there, that's really shitty to do too.
Yeah.
I used to get that a lot, like, you know, a buddy of mine would be like, oh, so-and-so was here, you know, they did this, that, and the other thing, and then they dropped your name, and I'd be like, like, that is the most insulting thing.
Your friend was here. Who?
Yeah, but that's the rudest thing is to act like an asshole and then name drop. Whether you're best friends or acquaintances, don't do it.
Frank Valentino checking in. Call the bar and order a drink.
Frank's done that to me. Frank's also called my personal cell phone and texted my personal cell phone.
I know people that
Watching
made
you.
flags out of napkins, like the white flag.
Mm-hmm.
But
But when you have a good relationship with your customers
Yeah.
and when you're working at like a small pub, some of that stuff's kind of funny,
Yeah.
you know? But
Yeah,
like,
that's a local bar.
yeah.
Don't hit on the bartenders.
Oh my God. So something about Dugan's is everybody leaves their number on napkins.
See, now,
I've
all
never-
right. To me, hit on and flirt are two different things. I think flirting is okay. I think it's fun. That's part of the whole aura of being out. But hitting on is different, and that's a little more aggressive. And that's honestly thinking you're getting something at the end of the night.
Yeah, I could see the differences there. I think it's part of the atmosphere and the environment. I think once it crosses a line, once it becomes aggressive, once somebody says I'm not interested or I'm married or whatever,
Then it's over.
Then it's
Yeah.
over. But I do think it's part of the going out experience. Whether you're hitting on the bartender or you're hitting on the girl sitting next to you, or you're hitting on the guy sitting next to you or whatever, I think it's just part of meeting people.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're not a creep or taking it to, you know, an inappropriate level, I think it's just part of the
And honestly,
the
bartenders,
lifestyle.
and not just female bartenders, male bartenders do it too. You want to flirt with the customers a little bit because it's called working the tip.
I actually don't flirt with my customers.
You might not, but a lot of people
When
do.
I worked at the pool
Hey,
hall,
honey,
I
what can I
did.
get you? You know, just give them like an idea, like, oh, okay, you know what? She's cool, she's cute. I'm gonna throw a couple extra.
When I
dollars
worked at
at
the pool hall, I did, but it was a completely different atmosphere.
Right, but you also got to know your limit. Know that you're really not gonna take the bartender home.
Yeah, but that's like a fantasy thing.
Yeah, it is.
There, you know, like there's a lot of people out there that's like their thing.
And one people has a quote here: "I'm here to work, not date. Besides, in a bar full of drunk and available people, why would you want to hit on the only sober one?" Has a point.
That is a good point. But like I said, it's part of the fantasy thing.
Yeah.
You're looked at as a bartender as like, I don't know how to describe it. You know, like, oh, look at so and so hitting on the bartender. You know, like it's like a level.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that's surrounding you is easy, and then the bartender is a little bit harder to talk to and chat with, and it's like, you know, a cool factor.
Right.
Don't do it. I hate it. We look at you like you're an asshole, but
And they make fun of you when they're
we
counting their tips out at the
absolutely
end of the
make
night,
fun
so
of you. Absolutely.
I've seen it.
I do it. I'll admit
Yeah.
it. I'm not going to sit here and say if
I've
you.
worked in enough bars. I've seen it.
I've totally done it. If you're going to sit there and hit on me and, you know, be like a jerk about it or be inappropriate or be kind of pathetic about it, if you see me making a drink in the corner and me and the other bartender are sitting there, we are
about you.
talking about you.
You.
Everybody does it. I'm sorry. You know, regardless if it's you're making me uncomfortable or if it's funny, you're being discussed.
Here's another good one. Don't say, "I'll have a beer, please."
Yeah, when people say that to me,
Especially in a big bar, there could be 40 beers
I
there.
will literally say, what beer? I had some girl do that to me several times. She's like, can I have a beer? I'm like, yeah, what beer? A beer. I was like, right, what beer? And she was like, a Bud. I'm like, oh, you bitch. Like, all you had to do was say, can I have a Bud, please?
Yeah.
Like, there's no...
Yeah. It's not like, can I have a Jack and Coke? Well, actually, you're saying Coke in that.
Larry,
Oh, no, what did he do?
you hit on a stripper.
See, that's another thing. You're supposed to flirt with the strippers, not
That's-
hit on them. You're not.
that's-
I'm not going to say it can't happen because I know firsthand it can, but you're not taking the stripper home.
Depends how much money you have.
You know what I mean, though. The strippers are there to entertain, give you that fantasy, and then you're supposed to leave and go pick someone up. The strippers really aren't there
Right.
to be picked up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again,
the strippers
I'm
are there
generalizing.
for...
This,
It's
strippers
their
can-
job, yeah.
Yeah, they're there to work. They're not there to actually, you know.
Right. Well, that's the thing with the fantasy thing, though.
Yeah.
You know, the people have this idea, and I'm not comparing stripping to bartending, but like people have this idea that they can take home this girl. When meanwhile, any job you work, whether you're a cashier at Arby's, you're a bartender, you're a mechanic, you have a work personality
Right.
and an out of work personality. You have to. That's how you can like succeed and like, you know, go home and take the day off and not worry about it.
It might be a bit of a stretch, but you can compare a bartender to a stripper in certain ways. You're giving the stripper money for entertainment, you're giving the bartender money for a drink. That's where it's at. It's a professional relationship. You're paying for a service, you're getting that service, and you're leaving.
Right, but a lot of
But
people
that service is just
but a lot
that
of people
service.
also see bartending as one thing and stripping as another.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like that's a matter of opinion.
And you probably have a better chance picking up a bartender than a stripper in most places.
Probably, yeah.
Because most strippers are disgusted with men. If you're a female, all bets are off. Females have a better chance of picking up a female stripper.
I don't know about that.
I'm not going to say they will. I'm just saying I think their odds are better.
A lot of my friends that are dancers are lesbians. So, I mean, maybe there's some truth in that.
And I'm saying because I've known a few strippers personally too, and they told me that. Don't get too drunk. You'll be a bartender's and pretty much every human's worst nightmare, especially if you're cut off and you become the biggest a-hole in the world when no one will serve you. Yes.
Yeah, but that's not fair to say don't get too drunk because people don't know their limits. And I'm not
You
saying...
know what? If you're 21, that's one thing. If you're 30 or 40, you don't want to be that person.
Remember
that
when I
someone's
went
gonna-
to your show after I had my daughter and I had 3 glasses of wine?
How'd you leave? You walked out.
I walked out of there.
Too drunk is, because it's even saying don't be the person that's cut off and won't stop and still trying to get the drink. It's like saying you're too drunk. You know.
All right, that was a bad example because I ended up knowing
You
that I
had
had
too
to go
much that
home.
night,
but
you know, you've seen it with the same people every night. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, just leave already.
people
you
have
know?
problems. That's when you
Yeah.
should be kicked out indefinitely of
Right.
a bar when you're an alcoholic and every night or every other night it's the exact same pattern. It's the same thing. That's a problem.
Larry said he was just being funny, but Missy brought up a good point. Girls can pick up girls easier than men. And in general, yes, you're
But
probably right.
That's probably because, you know, women know what women like.
Yeah.
Women, and I mean like they know what they like. So it's probably, aw, B, thank you. Oops. God damn. Sorry guys, I keep hitting the mic. Women know what women like. So, you know, they're not like, men can be so creepy and so arrogant,
It's
and the
true.
combination, really though.
I felt dirty sometimes. I'm not kidding. I felt dirty sitting next to a guy hitting on some bartenders some nights. I'm like,
sometimes.
really? Like, does this shit work?
Sometimes it's really gross.
I'm not even joking about
And
that because I've seen it a few
really
times.
crosses the line, and you're put in a position where you're like, you want to tell this guy off, but you also want to keep your job. And depending on what bar what I loved about the pool hall is I was supported in anything I did or said. I was so trusted and so well liked by the owner that if somebody gave me a hard time, that was it. They were done. They were gone.
Yeah.
You know, like my bouncers Like, if I just pointed at someone and was like, they gotta go, no questions
Okay.
asked, they were gone. And it was nice to feel that kind of security.
That's how it should be. You
Yeah.
should feel safe in your
You
workplace.
have to feel safe in your workplace, absolutely. There has to be, that's something that I miss about the pool hall is the loyalty. You know, like, maybe not with all of the bartenders and the owner, because he was kind of a dick, but, you know, he liked me, and it worked out in my benefit.
Yeah.
And I didn't dislike him until the place shut
But
down.
you didn't just throw people out to throw them out. There was a
Absolutely
reason.
not. No,
And
you
that's
had
the
to have
thing.
a solid
If
reason.
if you want that one and that one and that one, then you'd be like,
Yeah,
all right, you
I
know what?
wasn't
You're
like,
a little too
you know, right. I always had a solid reason of why somebody had to leave.
far. Right.
And it was you, and I have a very high boiling point before I get super mad. So, you know, you have to really, really piss me off for me to kick you out of a bar I work at.
Yeah, Jeff, if a stripper throws you out, that's probably not a good thing. I'm curious on your opinion on this. Don't stick your garbage in your glasses.
No, don't do that. It's
Even if
rude,
you're
it's
doing an
annoying.
attempt to help consolidate garbage at your table, someone has to dig your leftover food or soggy napkin out of there. Gross.
Yeah, it is gross, and the bartenders have to clean it out. And a lot of the times, the napkin is soggy from whatever drink was left
Right.
over in there. A lot of the times, it's like there's either lipstick or your snot or someone's chewed gum or chewed food in it. It's really gross. Don't do that.
The reason I said I was curious about that one is because a lot of times I've seen people do that. They have been either bartenders or waitresses.
I've
And
never.
just-
I've been both a bartender and a waitress, and I have never shoved napkins
Yeah.
and crap
I can
in
see
my
on the
glasses.
plate. You want to throw it on the plate because it just.
I
goes
have
off the
put
plate
other
anyway.
glasses in glasses.
Yeah, that I'll do.
But I will never put garbage in glasses
No.
myself. Like I'll pick up other glasses that might happen to have it in it. It's gross. It's rude. And think about, would you want to do that? Would you want to pick all that stuff out of the glass? You have to dig it out of there.
Yeah.
It's like a suction cup once it gets wet. It's gross.
This one kind of goes along and it even references back to Rule 11. Don't wave money at bartenders.
No, don't do that. That goes back with is 11 the one where people are clinking glasses.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just as rude, except now you're showing a different kind of arrogance.
Know what you want when it's time to order.
Ooh, you know, that one doesn't bother me that much.
If you don't know what you want, I could see waiting a little bit, I'm looking for this, do you have that or whatever. But if you want a beer and you're not sure what kind of beer they have, you have to wait till the bartender. What kind of beer do you have?
Yeah, that one
do you
doesn't
have
really
on
bother me
tap?
that much unless it's a situation where like I've had girls where it'll be a group of girls, and I'm sorry I keep picking out the women, but they have a tendency,
Women suck.
you know, my female customers at certain places I've worked, they have a certain pattern, you know, like be a group of girls, and the three girls know exactly what they want. One girl wants like a ridiculous fruity drink, 'cause the only one that wants a fruity drink, and the other girl actually doesn't want to drink at all, but doesn't have the balls to tell you, and you'll be like, okay, what do you want? I don't know. Okay, what do you want? I don't know. And then by the third
Yeah.
time, you're like, do you just want water? And they'll be like, yeah, water's fine. Just tell me immediately you want water, that you're not drinking tonight, that you're DD, that whatever. I'm not going to get mad at you. I don't
Yeah.
care that you're staying at the bar and you're not going to drink. You know, like, just be open with me so I don't have to keep running back and annoying you. Because if I see someone with an empty glass, it's my job to see if you want something.
Right.
So, but then it gets to the point where I'm feeling like I'm bothering people. And that's an annoying feeling to have.
What's up, Paul?
Hi, Paul.
Don't ask for discounts.
No, don't do it. It's rude.
Unless there's something specific that says discounts for,
So we
and
had
you want to say, I fit in
January
that group.
9th, actually, is a day I ended up leaving early because I wasn't feeling well. But January 9th, we had like first responder officer appreciation day, and it was 25% off your entire order, which I thought was amazing and
Right.
awesome. And a lot of our customers didn't know that was going on, so I would offer it to them. I'd be like, oh, did you know? Is that why you're here? You know, and really none of them threw it in my face at the end
Yeah.
of the night. Well, before I left, but like
That's what I'm
they were
saying.
more
If
appreciative than.
you were offering, but let's say I went in there and someone didn't know I was a first responder, I had to tell them because otherwise they're not going to know. So I could say, hey, just so you know, I'm So that's kind of asking for a discount, but what they mean is, hey, give me this one for
Hook me up.
$8.
Yeah, that's the stuff. That goes along the lines with asking for a free drink or asking you to make it heavy.
Yeah.
I used to work at a place, where if someone asked you, hey, this is kind of weak, can you make it heavy? We'd be like, sure, no problem, and just dump rack vodka into it, or rack whatever. And it's like, you wanted it strong, you got it strong. Like, it's going to, depending on the bartender that you deal with and the place that you're at, the quality of the place that you're at matters.
Now, again, if there's times I want a heavy drink, but if I'll pay for it. It's not like I'm asking you to double it just
Right.
for free.
Right.
I don't want, yes, we will, Paul. It's not like I'm going to say, give me a vodka and tonic, take a sip like this little, can you put more in it?
Right.
Because
Right.
my version of
But
weak,
you're an adult.
yeah.
You're an adult that's worked in the industry, that has friends in the industry, that goes out a lot. When you're sleazeball, or it doesn't
Yeah.
matter about age. If you're a sleazeball that's trying to get a little something, extra for free. You're going to give it a shot, and then you're going to be a dick about it when the bartender tells you no.
Right. Don't puke anywhere besides the toilet.
Oh yeah.
There's one exception.
please.
If you can do it in a cup, like Danielle,
Oh.
as gracefully as you can, you get bonus points
I
for
forgot
that.
about that.
Because that was one of the best things I ever saw in my life. Because she did it so casually, like nothing happened, that I had to ask, did I really just see that? Because I didn't believe it.
And that was another thing that happened in the pool hall. Anything went down there, and any people could get away with anything there. But I had a
And the toilet means the toilet, not the urinal, not the sink.
sink, man. Why?
I just want to blow through the rest of these because I do want to hook Paul up.
I
and
do
I have
wanna
some other
discuss that,
questions I want to
yeah.
ask real quick. Don't tell them how to do their job. That should be self-explanatory. Don't go
in
anywhere and tell
anywhere.
anyone how to do their
Don't
job.
do that anywhere. Rude.
Now, this one, it depends. If you have a relationship with it, because I've done this with you. Don't ask them to charge your phone behind the bar for you.
That doesn't bother me.
And again, if you don't know them,
I also don't think that's very fair.
well,
What if you have to call an Uber? What if you have to call a friend?
Well, it says the chances that your phone won't get wet are slim, and if you're drunk, you probably forget at the end of the night. That's why I say it depends. If someone nobody knows, and I like to charge my phone.
A lot of bars now have charging stations.
And I was going to say that. A lot of them do have spots around. So, Now, here's what you were saying before, and I do have a question about this. Don't just say surprise me and make me something good. Now, there are times, and again, if you're a professional bartender and you've been doing it for quite some time, and you know how to make a lot of drinks, there are times where, sometimes even like when I go to a restaurant, I'm not quite sure what I want, but I have an idea.
Right.
So, look, I want something with a little kick to it, but a little sweetness. But I don't know. What can you suggest something? That's basically what I'm saying. Not so much surprise me. It's like, can you make something for me? You want to make a little something, I'll try it. If I like it, hey, what is this? I'm going to drink this now. And I found a lot of drinks that way. Because how else are you going to learn to try a new drink if you don't experiment, and you won't know to ask for it if you don't know it exists?
So when someone says to me, surprise me
is a little different.
I immediately get frustrated and I go, well, what do you like? And they go, well, 9 out of 10 times, I shit you not, they usually end up getting a vodka soda. Almost always. If they say they don't, I get this a lot, surprise me. Well, what do you want? Well, I don't like the taste of alcohol, but I want to get drunk. Very frustrating statement. I always make a Red Devil. It
I
will
was just going to say,
knock you
Red
on your
Devil's
ass,
perfect for that.
but it doesn't taste like anything but sugar.
Yeah.
It's annoying. Somebody like, what kind of beers do you have? And you give them the beer list. And they'll be like, what kind of IPAs do you have? And you run down the 10, 20 IPAs that you have on tap. And then they look at you and they go, can I have a Bud Light?
Yeah.
That's really frustrating.
Yeah.
It's not even like, it's just a Bud Light you just asked about IPAs.
And the last one is don't complain about the prices to the bartender. They didn't make it.
We did not make them.
Want to get this in real quick. Paul is raising money again.
Paul Bond.
He's got a couple of cats that need procedures, operations, or whatever it is.
Yes.
V or Paul, if you could please post that on our site, on this page, on our Facebook pages. We will spread it around so we get hit your goal.
It's a fundraiser to help. I believe it's 3 cats, Paul. I'm not sure specifically.
Thank you, Vic.
But anything that you could do would really, really help. We've discussed what Paul and his wife do, and they do so much by themselves. It'd be amazing that if we could help them out.
All right, I want to address Larry's before we wrap it up because we're kind of out of time. Asking for free drinks. Let me ask you, do you think bars should offer buybacks all the time if someone buys enough drinks, or do you think it should be up to the bartender to buy individually?
I love that.
Technically, it is illegal in New York for a buyback.
By law,
I
it's
think
against law.
It should be up to the discretion of the bartender. That's my opinion.
So customary,
As I manage the place, I always tell the bartender, it's up to you what you want to do with the buyback.
it's supposed to be every third drink. But if you're a dick, you're not getting a buyback. If you're a lovely human being, you're getting an extra buyback. It's all about discretion. It's all about customer loyalty, in my opinion. But it should technically be every third drink. That's the proper way to do it. But, the nastier you are to a bartender, if you ask me, where's my buyback, I will say to you, it's illegal in New York.
Yeah.
Because usually if you're asking for it, you're not deserving of
If you're asking for it, you're asking for it. But anyway, we got to cut it because we're actually running a little over. So thanks, everybody. You want to talk about next week real quick?
So we've talked about how we like creepy things, and next week we may possibly be having our tarot read. So that should be a really interesting show, and that will really tie in all the creepy trips we've had and all the crazy experiences we've had. And it could be an embarrassing show. I might cry. I was told I was going to cry, so.
And yes, we really got to wrap it up because it's almost 9. So Kayla Logistics, Frank Zambuto, Penn School Cats of Comics. Tune in next week. Tune into In the Cage of Cyclone, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.